Interest rates go up again with a warning inflation is set to soar. It'll mean prices rising at the fastest level since the 1980s. So what more can be done? Also tonight.
ITV Evening News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good evening. The economic storm clouds gathering over the UK look even more menacing tonight as the Bank of England raised interest rates and warned inflation will spiral even higher than feared. In an attempt to cool off the rising cost of living, rates were raised today to their highest level since 2009, and the bank said inflation could now top 11% in October when energy bills are expected to surge again. There was no better news on growth either, with the economy expected to contract even further in the second quarter. Here's our economics editor, Joel Hills, on the grim outlook. Lord Geidt, Boris Johnson's former ethics advisor, has revealed he quit yesterday after being put in an impossible and odious position. Lord Geidt advised the Prime Minister on the ministerial code which governs behaviour, but he said he had to resign after being asked about an issue he thought would be a deliberate breach of that code. Our political reporter Shihab Khan is in Westminster. Shihab, explain what prompted this and where it leaves Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it's a resignation that's called.
Well, the Chancellor, meanwhile, has told ITV News that he didn't break the ministerial code over Partygate, despite Lord Geidt suggesting it may have been a breach. Rishi Sunak was in Nottingham speaking to a group of Boots employees. Afterwards, he gave an exclusive and wide-ranging interview to our deputy political editor, Anushka Astana. Anushka is in Nottingham. And you can see more of Anushka's interview on News at 10 tonight. Or, of course, if you want to watch it in full, just go to our website, itv.com/news. It's not just politicians feeling the heat, of course. Millions of Britons have been sweltering in heatwave conditions. Today was officially the hottest day of the year so far, almost reaching 30 degrees Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit at Heathrow. It's predicted to be even hotter in the south of England tomorrow, and that's prompted warnings for people to make sure they stay properly hydrated and to be careful if they try to cool down in rivers, lakes or the sea. Well, Lewis Warner is in the town of Droitwich Spa for us this evening. Lewis, a good place to cool off? From Worcestershire to Ascot, and where Alex is there for us tonight, and it's also unseasonably hot. Alex, you know, this is happening more and more frequently. Is it climate change? The family of a British journalist who was murdered in the Amazon has said they are heartbroken after his body was found close to where he went missing 11 days ago. Dom Phillips was killed alongside Indigenous. The leaders of France, Germany and Italy have visited Kyiv and pledged to support Ukraine's bid to join the European Union. They spoke of how the country belongs to the European family and how they'd be by Ukraine's side for as long as necessary. But to defend itself, Ukraine needs more weapons, and it says it's not been given enough. From Kyiv, here's our Europe editor, James Mates. There's plenty more to come on the ITV Evening News, including... Well, they pay a powerful tribute to their son, as you'll hear a little later in the programme. Stay with us. We're back after this break. Welcome back. A culture of fear within British gymnastics saw coaches put glory above athletes' well-being, leading to gymnasts being physically and emotionally abused. The damning findings of a review into widespread abuse in the sport, which was prompted by an ITV News investigation into the scandal. We first highlighted the scale of the abuse in 2020, and many more gymnasts bravely came forward to reveal their experiences. And now it's clear they were not alone. There was a culture which didn't just allow but condoned the behaviour of some coaches. Our sports editor Steve Scott, who lifted the lid on the scandal, reports on British gymnastics' moment of shame. Well, Steve, can the sport repair the damage and crucially ensure that it never happens again?
Lucrezia, it's a huge challenge because what's been exposed. Did she know how many abusive coaches were still out there in gyms, still coaching? She didn't have a clue, but obviously she'll be hoping today's report will give everybody, gymnasts and others, the confidence to come forward. So today, yes, a moment of reckoning for one sport, but in reality it sends a message to every leadership team in every sport right across the country.
Certainly does, Steve. Thank you. Some other news now. The number of people in England waiting to start routine hospital treatment has risen to a new record high. Two police officers have been seriously injured and a man shot in an armed standoff at a house in Scunthorpe. It happened last night, and Humberside Police has referred itself to the police watchdog over the incident. Well, Katie Oscroft is in. You're watching the ITV Evening News. Here's what's still ahead before Emmerdale. First, that moving interview with the parents of 21-year-old Harry Kingsland, who was killed in Ibiza during his first working holiday abroad. Harry, a former world champion in martial arts, died after being attacked by a fellow club promoter in a flat in San Antonio. His family believe Harry was beaten by Mitchell Loveridge as he lay unconscious, and they wanted his killer to serve a 25-year sentence. But a Spanish jury cleared Loveridge of murder and convicted him of manslaughter, meaning he could face a sentence of just 1 year. In their first sit-down interview, Harry's parents, Julie and Jean, told Ellie Pitt about the pain of losing their son and their struggle to find justice. Let's get an update on what is making the news tonight. But first, Oscar winner Kevin Spacey appeared in the dock of Westminster Magistrates Court today, accused of sexual offences against 3 men. The court heard that the 62-year-old, the star of films including The Usual Suspects and American Beauty, strenuously denies the allegations. Rebecca Barry has more. There appears to be little hope of next week's nationwide rail strikes being called off after the Transport Minister warned it would endanger jobs. Grant Shapps said the 3-day walkout would jeopardise the future of the railways. Well, unions took that as a threat and urged the government to get round the negotiating table in the row over jobs, pay and conditions. Here's our consumer editor, Chris Choi. Some other news. US cosmetics giant Revlon has filed for bankruptcy after struggling to cope with mounting debts. The new ITV News has learned how pets are also becoming victims of the cost of living crisis. Research shared with us by the RSPCA shows how pet food has shot up along with inflation and how owners fear they won't be able to look after their beloved animals. Now, even food banks are stepping in to help, as our Wales reporter Rhys Williams explains. Still to come, from domestic pets to fantastic beasts on a glorious day at Royal Ascot. And join Alex and me on what's been a glorious day at the races right after this short break. Hello again, welcome back. Now, there's been a sweltering start to Ladies' Day at Royal Ascot with temperatures in the high 20s. Not perhaps the easiest day to have to stick to the Berkshire Racecourse's strict dress code. Well, in a moment, Alex will join us live from Royal Ascot with the latest weather forecast. First, Martha Fairley reports on how the ladies coped with the heat. Let's go to Alex now, who of course is at Ascot. Alex, too hot for some today, but also weather warnings about the heat for some parts of the UK tomorrow. Thank you. Enjoy the party. And that is it from us. Julie will have the latest on news at 10. But from me and all the Evening News team, bye-bye.